A very pleasant good evening to you as we welcome you inside the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University for the Storm Report, season number 2, episode number 21. I'm your program host, Kevin Derryberry, and over yonder is my broadcast partner with the ACU football team, Mr. Ed Cole, and the two gentlemen in the middle is Mr. Griffin Swan is here, along with our good friend Daniel Durazo, gentleman from the baseball team. So we'll talk with these guys in just a moment, but let's get you set up here on this afternoon's program. We'll speak with assistant coach Mark Flatten. Will join us on the program right after the fellas have our conversation with us, and then we'll talk, and we'll take it to the center circle. We'll talk a little softball with Jyden Miles and Abbi Covalt of the ACU women's softball team. Those ladies and Coach Maven's team has won 4 straight. They're poised to do some things here in the GSAC conference late in the season. Ed Cole, my friend, welcome back. It's been a couple of days, but we're glad to have you back at center stage.
Kevin, it's great. I'm glad to be back, brother. Let's make it happen. We've got these young men on stage. Let's talk to these fellas.
Griffin Swan, Daniel Durazo, gentlemen, welcome to the broadcast. It's a pleasure to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks. You bet. Daniel, let's start with you, my friend. If we go back some, let's see, we'll just use the number 90, the last 2 seasons, 89 and 90 games played. That's pretty impressive. The tenure that you have displayed out there in right field has been a mainstay and a welcome addition to this program.
Thank you. I've had a couple injuries, hamstrings, and currently I have bisymptomatitis, but just pushing through.
What has allowed you to stay in the lineup? I mean, you mentioned a couple of those, but you were able to play through the injuries. Unlike some of your teammates who get banged up when they ask out of lineup or whatnot, but that didn't happen.
Load management.
We're just we're just giving Swanee the business here. Obviously, he's a gamer. But Daniel, for you, how have you been able to stay healthy? And we were talking about Cal Ripken, his achievement to play over 3,000 baseball games, consecutive baseball games, and it's a mark that we believe will never be broken. But to play 89 and 90 is very impressive.
Thank you. Yeah, it's possibly my last year, so just trying to play every game, stretching a lot just to make sure the hamstring's okay, and been going a lot with Mary to stay healthy this semester, so been working hard on that.
All right, good. Swanee, how about you? What's going good for you this season?
Oh, man, I mean, it's been about 3 years of really hard work, and I've been here since my freshman year of college, so this is all I've known in terms of what school I've been at, and I've just learned a lot from Coach Flatt, Coach Mack, our new coach this year, Coach Kincaid, about hitting, and I think it's all kind of coming together. I've just learned so much over the last couple of years and worked really hard, and it's been fun to have a starting role on a team of guys that I really care about, so it's been cool.
So, Griff, for you, when you first started, you said you mentioned 3 years. What were some of the initial things that you figured that you needed to work on when you got here to this program, to this baseball program?
Oh, so much. Coach Max likes to say that I looked like a bowling ball on a broomstick. I was really skinny. I had no meat on my bones. I was not strong at all. I couldn't hit the ball out of the infield. I had some defensive qualities, I think, but over the last 3 years, just working on strength with DST, a lot of weightlifting, and then just kind of using my leverage at the plate instead of I used to be have a long swing and kind of not be short to the ball and long through it. So I've learned how to do that, I think, pretty well this year.
Are you pretty happy with your performance over your 32 games you played?
Yeah. I mean, you can always get better. I definitely have had moments where I'm like, you need to be a whole lot better than you are and be a better leader. And baseball's a game of opportunity. Some people call it a game of failure. But, yeah, there's a lot of times where you're struggling and you're just thinking about, not being out there. To be honest with you, there's rough moments. But when you push through those and you realize that you're there for a reason and you just keep working hard. And, yeah, I've been pretty happy.
Ed Cole, when you hit 351, there's a job for you.
You better believe it is.
Yeah.
Ted,
it's on you.
Okay, Daniel Durazo, I want to talk about the power.
We trade off.
Over the years, you've developed a little more pop in the bat. This year, we've seen that. It happened early in the season, and it continues to happen throughout the course of the campaign. Did you do anything differently to prepare this offseason to maybe add another dimension to your game that was already impressive, using all the fields, over a 300 hitter here at the program? But the power, it's nice to see that another element to your game.
No, yeah, it's a lot better this year. I say with DST, we work a lot with explosive workouts, so that's helped me a lot, be more explosive. Because before, like back in high school and my other years in Pima and stuff, I would just do normal workouts, no explosive. So it's really, DST has helped me a lot.
Now, Robbie Ray of the Seattle Mariners have been talking about these explosive workouts. If you could share a little bit about what a workout would entail for you to, to come up with that. We know the term, but how does it translate to hitting baseballs out of the park?
Just like lighter weight, move it up quick, and it's just like the nerves on your muscle, that allows you to hit the ball harder.
Okay. Because it's going to take a little extra work.
No, yeah, it takes a lot of extra work.
Repetition. We know that, Ed.
Daniel, man, you had a weekend over in Surprise. 8 for 14, and you guys took 2 out of 3 from OUAZ. I'm sure that felt good, but just talk about the weekend that you had there, the 3 games you had there. That stretch was pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, I was seeing the ball really well, and it was pretty cool because my older brother was in town from Dallas, so I was a little nervous. I had to just show him up, because we're very competitive, and I had a really good weekend, and he was really happy to see me play well.
What does that do for your confidence, especially at this stage of the season? You're 43 games in, you're almost at the end, and hopefully you're getting ready for the playoffs. To have a 3-game performance like that for you, does that really boost your confidence even higher than it already is?
Oh, a lot. So these next 6 games, I believe we have 6 games. Mm-hmm. I just feel more comfortable seeing the ball really well. Like we said earlier in the season, like a grapefruit. Mm-hmm. So.
And then sometimes does it feel like it's coming slow at you, like, oh my gosh, I can hit this thing. It's coming right at me. Bam, and I knock it out.
No, yeah, like a grapefruit, we said earlier.
Daniel, if you would, describe the camaraderie with this baseball team, but if you would, be specific about the outfield. An outfield that's been intact for a long time. Marcus TTLEE out there and left, and obviously Justin Ramirez and all of his accomplishments out there at center field, the newest hit king here at ACU. And then you out there and right. You guys have played every game out there in the outfield, and it's just been impressive to see you guys interact with each other. But what's that dynamic like in that clubhouse between you 3 and then, of course, your clubhouse?
Oh, we're really good friends. During Christmas break, we worked out together a good amount of times, and we just get along really well. And we're also, same with my older brother, we're pretty competitive with each other. So we just, we push each other to the limit.
Of those 3 guys, which one's the most competitive between you and Justin and
I'd say
Marcus
for sure
TTLEE?
Marcus, for sure. Yeah, he's very competitive.
He brings some intensity to the game.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he makes us better.
I watched Marcus. Well, this is going to just be all just jacked up when I say this, but last year he tore apart an orange during a break, and you're like, man, that dude is intense. I thought the way he ate the orange was with some intensity. So make sure you keep it the right way, JD. But I'm just saying that he's an intense hombre. Glad he's on the Firestorm side, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Griffin, you guys got kind of a crazy schedule. You haven't been home since early April 1st. I know that a lot of the games were pretty close, like here in the state, a few trips out of state. But was that kind of weird when you looked at the schedule and you're like, man, we were on the road for 11 or 12 games straight?
I'll be honest. No, I like playing on the road a lot. I like traveling with my friends and all the teammates, and it makes for some pretty fun memories and all that stuff. And then also, not to mention, we've played in 2 Major League spring training stadiums the last week, and that's been just a blessing. And even when we're not playing in those, we've been playing in the outside fields at Tempe Diablo, and those are nice surface over there too. And then Westmont was really fun. It's a nice campus and nice part of California. So I've actually enjoyed the last couple weeks kind of traveling and playing around the West Coast, so it's been fun.
And then, as you mentioned, it helps with the bond and you guys coming together more as a brotherhood, especially as you're coming toward the end of the season, as you got 6 more games to go.
Yeah, for sure. And I like being used to traveling, especially when you hit playoffs. You got to travel. You got to be used to playing tired and getting off a bus and being in a hotel, eating whatever you can eat to get the nutrients you need, and just kind of grinding, being ready for what really matters, which is being on the field. So yeah.
Talking a little baseball here on the Storm Report with Daniel Durazo and Griffin Swan. Swanee, my last one for you. I might sneak in a second one here, but I wanted to ask you about your spiritual development here on campus. Randy Chambers, our transformational coach, the best in the business, no doubt about that. I'm just curious how he's made an impact on your season this year. Griff.
Oh, man. It's not just my season. He's made an impact on my life. When I got here my freshman year, I was a little bit of a a mess mentally and spiritually and just with everything. And he was one of the first people I talked to, him and Josh Milner, who's the head coach over at San Diego Christian now.
Sure.
Changed my life forever. They showed me Jesus. They didn't just tell me about Jesus. And I've just reached places that I never knew I would. And I feel so close to God, and I give it all the glory to him for my season, our team season, and everything good that's in me is from him, honestly. I mean that. And I've learned those things and kind of developed that way from people like Coach Chambers. He's incredible, and he's changed me. So, yeah, it's been awesome.
Outstanding.
Daniel, for me, talk about Coach Flatten. We're going to bring him on after we get you two young men off, but talk about Coach Flatten and what he means to you.
Oh, he's a really good coach. He's really passionate. Especially this year, I can see like he's much more passionate for with us and stuff, and you can just tell he really cares for us. And I really appreciate everything he does for us too.
There's something to be said for that kind of leadership, right?
Yeah, of course.
Men that just look out for you guys and just take you like you're their own sons and just help groom you and help grow you into men, to adults.
Yeah, he prepares us for life for sure.
Hey, Dan, who's the one pitcher that you have to face in BP or, sim games or whatnot? Who's the one guy on our staff that you do not want to face? I mean, I got an idea who it could be, but you're a lefty and you battle everybody. So I'm just curious if there's anybody out there that you just, that's not you.
I'd say Anthony Chavez.
Okay.
He's got that lefty angle and
Yeah.
I just cannot hit. And those sliders are nasty, too.
I was thinking you were going to come up with Pinedo, but because Bayer's nasty as well. But Anthony Chavez, AC, he's dirty. He is
Yeah,
definitely
he's
dirty.
very good.
How about
Very
you,
good.
Griff? Is there anybody?
AC.
Yeah.
I promise. I was gonna say that if you asked before him, he's hard to hit. He can't see his ball. His slider moves really well. Even his fastball has some movement. And he's definitely a taller guy, so he gets it out in front. But yeah, he's hard to hit.
Drive-through one for you, Griff. You started with number 7. You're now wearing 27. What in the world has happened to the number 7? I have not seen any number 7s signed or not signed on eBay or anything like that. So I'm curious, where's your jersey, man?
Some things happened in Oakland. They got stolen. But honestly, I'm kind of grateful for it. Ever since 2-7 went on my back, I've got 2 home runs. So I don't know what Manny Villa did to those jerseys, but it works. He put some juice in them or something, and I've been hitting well with them. So I'm sticking with it.
That's a good switch, huh?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it.
I'm glad he said Manny Villa. He's a major impact on your life and how you're here, I think.
High school teammate, Robbie and Manny brought me over here. I had no offers out of Pima, my junior college, and I just got a random text message from Robbie one day. He's like, "Hey man, you want to try to come to Arizona Christian?" I'm like, "Yeah, for sure." And they're the reason why I'm here.
Hey, man, you've been outstanding since you arrived on campus from South Point Catholic High School. Griffin, Swan, Daniel Durazo, our guests. We're going to take it to the third base coach's box. Assistant men's baseball coach Mark Flatten joins the program right after this. We welcome you back inside the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University for the Storm Report, season number 2, episode number 21. By the way, this is the season finale right here this afternoon here in the Tower Grill. Kevin Derryberry alongside Ed Cole. Mark Flatten joins us. Coach Flatten, congratulations on the season thus far. How about it? 43 games in, 26-17, and everything that you had goal-oriented wise to begin this season is still set right there before your very eyes. Opportunity knocks.
Yeah, it's been a great year. It's really been a different year, I think, because we weren't sure exactly how things were going to come together, and we had this unbelievable schedule to start the season, and
right.
You're thinking, I like our team and I like where we're going, but those are some pretty good teams we're playing, and you don't really know where you're going to end up. And we started off with a bang, and we were playing really well, and and then just baseball is baseball. You have some lulls here and there, and I think we've just battled through them, and we're probably right where we should be. There's some games we could have won. There's some games that we won that we probably should have lost, and here we are. We were going in the last 3 weeks of the season with a chance to still win the conference, and certainly to get in the conference tournament. And we're just going to keep battling and do the things that I think we can. And I really like our team, and even though sometimes we lose or we'll lose consecutively, I still like where we're at, our mindset, our balance through the lineup, and who we are. And I think that's going to play out going into the last couple of weeks. And we're in a good space in our minds, and that'll allow us to have a chance to be successful on the field.
Outstanding. Coach, I wanted to begin the question with, how's your health? I know you've been a little bit banged up throughout the season, and so I just wanted to start there. So I apologize for starting with the second question.
No, it's all right. Last year was a battle. I'm coaching third, and I got this foot issue, and I'm trying to make it through the season to try to get to summer when I got a little bit of leeway time to get the surgery I needed. And I hit a wall, about 3/4 of the way in the season. I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't help at practice. I couldn't do anything. Had the surgery and was able to bounce back at the end of the year. I stayed off the field, more of in the dugout, doing some bench work and working with our hitters during the game, and it was great. I love that part of it because it's constant communication with the guys. But it's been really good to be healthy and be back on the field in the third base box and being able to kind of manage what we're doing on the bases and what's happening out there and talk to guys. And it also allows Coach Mack to just utilize his ability in the dugout, making decisions and thinking ahead and things that you kind of forget about when you're coaching third because you got all these other responsibilities. And for me to be out there, where I want to be, where I like to be, it's been a huge blessing this year. My foot feels a million times better, and I'm back taking ground balls with the guys and acting like I can still do it too. So
that's awesome,
Coach. The energy in the baseball team, of course, it goes all different directions, players to coaches, coaches to players. But how are you feeding off of the energy of these young men, and that's driving you through 43 as we're coming up to 49, 50 games in the season?
Yeah, it's been great. Like I said, I really, really like our team. One of the biggest reasons I was hoping that we would continue to have success is because these guys really deserve it. We've put in the work. We've worked really hard. We've stayed together. We haven't had any splintering even when things have gone bad for us, and we've been able to bounce back really well in most situations. And the nice thing is too, especially this time of year, practice is one of those things you're ready to be done with. You're like, man, I got to get out there. I got this. It's starting to get hot again. And our best practices have come after we've struggled a little bit, which is a great sign that your guys are locked in and they know we got to continue to get better, because you can't just roll into games and think you're going to win, not only in our conference but just our schedule anyway. So.
Coach, when you have that time to kind of reflect a little bit, where you're doing bench responsibilities, and like you mentioned, you're hanging out with the fellas, and you're getting some excellent one-on-one there as well. But just the art of coaching third base. Do you watch other coaches coach third base during the game? What's that study like for you? Yeah,
it's actually why I was talking about like how I feel very comfortable there. When you're a head coach and you have a lot of things that you got to run through, and everyone has their responsibilities, right? But when you can coach third base without having to think about who your next pinch runner is or what you really want to do with the next hitter, because we might talk about those things before I leave the dugout, but they're going to be Coach Mack's decisions when it comes down to the time to pull the trigger. And if you're out at third and you have to do that and then make those decisions, sometimes they slip by you, or you're not quite sure, or maybe you got a little bit of a thought of, I'm not sure that's what I want to do, and then it comes, and then you're like, what do I do? You know, and when you only have to coach third base, there's so many things you can lock in on, especially base running wise, intricacies of what's going on with their defense. One of my favorite things, picking pitches, things that you're really paying attention to because you don't have a ton of other responsibilities as far as game management. And I love it, and I've really spent a lot of time trying to prepare to be the best I can at it, including, moving up and down the line, being in great spots for guys to see. And I think it's not only been good for us, but I think our guys have locked into it to where our communication between each other is outstanding. Sometimes really it's not even spoken in words. It's where I'm at, what I'm doing, how I look, things that I might be doing that they're looking for that are keys to what we might be wanting to do. So it's very enjoyable for me. I really, really like it, and I spend a lot of time trying to be good at it.
You mentioned picking pitches. Elaborate on that for a second.
Yeah, just, I'm not a big believer in that I should pick them and then deliver the information. I don't think that's part of baseball, but if you can pick things that the pitchers are doing as far as maybe glove movement or hand movement or different places they come set, things that you can see from the side that you not necessarily can see from the dugout.
Okay.
And communicate after those innings, and hey, this is what I'm seeing. These are things you might be able to pick up when you're in the box. Those types of things where, again, like there's times where you're just standing out there, and I mean, you could be doing nothing or you could be trying to get better, and I'm always choosing to get better.
I was going to ask you that, Coach. How often do you let the young men freestyle on their own and make decisions on their own, and you just kind of sit back and say, okay, I'm going to see how this is going to play out. If I need to jump in here and put my 2 cents in, I will. Otherwise, you guys are good.
Yeah, well, as far as running the bases is concerned, Coach Mack is a big believer in letting guys have a lot of free ability on the bases, which is great. What we try to do is work hard in practice, so we're prepared to make those decisions. As far as from a base coaching standpoint, base running is the player's responsibility. There's a few times when you come into play to help them make good choices. But if you're ever thinking that you're the one that's in control of that, you're not. They need to be able to do it and have the instincts put in to be able to make those decisions, especially sometimes maybe they didn't get a good jump. Sometimes maybe, Daniel's a good example. Maybe his hamstring's hurting a little bit, so I don't know that yet. He's going to cut something off that I think, oh, maybe I would have said, let's go, but those aren't good decisions for me to make. I'm not the player. So those responsibilities really fall on the guys. But what we like to do is, as we're preparing for those games, is try to identify things that are going to be helpful to them, so when they get out on the field that they're ready to make those quality decisions on their own, and I'm there for support most of the time.
Coach Flatten, somebody's making some good decisions. As a club, 77 out of 90 in stolen base category. Mr. Ivy's 15 for 15. Let's double check that here. Actually, for Andrew, I lost that number for just a second for stolen bases. Yeah, 15 for 15. And then for TTLE, 21 out of 22. Those guys are making good decisions right now.
Yeah, well, what's great is Coach Mack gives us a lot of freedom to run. Even me, letting me make decisions for those guys. Maybe it's, something I might have told him that he's, hey, if you see something, let them know, those types of things. So it's been great. And it's interesting, too, because, Coach Mack would steal on every pitch if he possibly could, so that's his mentality. But what I think we've been better at this year than in the past is being better at choosing when to and when not to, and that's a lot based on that we swing the bat pretty well. So you don't want to run into outs on the bases because you're going to take runs away from yourself. But when you have an opportunity, take advantage of it, and I think that's where those numbers come into play. Our stolen bases are high; they're not amazing, but what's great is we're not getting thrown out at a huge clip because we're being so aggressive. And in particular with those two guys, it's really interesting because if you watch, they're completely different players. Ivy's a guy who is obviously has speed. He's young, and he's trying to get something done. He's got a role, and he's using some of the qualities that he has. He's continuing to learn how to do a better job at it, where TT, I just actually asked him today, I said, hey, do you think you're going to market yourself after you're done playing baseball? Because his ability to read and time things on the bases is probably the best I've ever seen, and that's talking about my time coaching professional baseball and Division I baseball.
That's saying
yeah,
something.
yeah. It's all timing. His ability to pick up on timing is off the charts, and it allows him. I don't know that there's been a close play on him when he steals bases, and we had one maybe the other day, and it was because it's probably one of the better throwing guys who was throwing, because anybody else would have not even been close. So it's just the timing that he brings to that art is something that I said, do you think you can teach that? Because I don't know that you can teach it, because it's such an intrinsic quality. But if you are able to point people in the right direction, then some of those guys that maybe have that intrinsic ability will be able to pick up on it, which would be outstanding for him.
Coach, I'm wondering, the guy that doesn't have the green light, Griffin, Swan, no stolen bases, but that's all right. He does a lot of other great things. But
well, he told me that he was going to drop some bombs, and then he started doing it. So I'm like, that's fine, buddy. Just do that. I'll see you here when you slap my hand and you run by.
The last time we saw him, he poked one over the left field fence at home, so that was nice. By the way, those of you that are curious, Daniel Durazo is 5 of 7 in the stolen base category to go with his 300-plus batting average. Coach, my last one for you here, because we're already getting the number, we're already getting the indication it's time to go. Dragging the field, is this something that you really enjoy doing? You've embraced this. Nobody else is going to do it. How did you become the guy that puts so much time and has turned that challenge of a playing surface into a meticulous playing surface?
Well, I certainly do enjoy it. It's a passion of mine. I think anybody that's coached baseball, especially at the high school level or even the mid-major Division I level, I mean, you don't have a lot of help. So you better figure out how to get it done if you want it to look good and play good, most importantly, right? So one thing for me, it's a good connection with my guys. You know, I'm trying to create an environment where they feel comfortable and they can go out there and play their best. So I feel like that's my responsibility. So I try to do as much as I can to do that. We might be limited budget-wise or facility-wise or whatever it might be, but we can make the best of it. Home is home. It's what you make of it. And so for me, it certainly is a passion, but I do enjoy it, but you know, I won't lie if I wouldn't mind that turf being laid down and I'd never have to see another tractor. So,
amen to that. There's no doubt. There's not a soul here that would disagree with that one. Mark Flatten is our guest here on the Storm Report, and for Coach Flatten, he is the third base coach for ACU. Does so many other things, but he's also assistant men's baseball coach to Joe Mack, and we are better for having Mark Flatten here at our university. So, Coach, thanks for being a guest here, and good luck the rest of the way. Unfinished business for this baseball team.
For sure. We're looking forward to the next couple of weeks, and you know, I think that we'll not only have a chance to do something special, but you know, we're always going to represent the university in the best way, and that's what I'm most proud of with our guys.
No question about it. Mark Flatten, our guest. We're going to take a quick break when we talk a little softball right here on the Storm Report right after this. We welcome you back inside the Storm Report, inside the Tower Grill on the campus of Arizona Christian University for season number 2, episode number 21. And let's take it to the softball circle. We'll take it to the softball diamond and talk with these two young ladies, Jyden Miles and Abbi Covalt. Ladies, congratulations on the 28 victories so far, 28-14. That is a remarkable campaign for you with 6 games remaining, all in conference play. Jyden, for you, congratulations. How's the season going for you?
It's going good. A lot of my teammates have been pushing me to do well, and Coach Taylor especially, she's been helping me a lot with my slapping, just keep an eye on what I'm doing.
We talk about slapping, and Tim had mentioned that before, is that you're a prototypical slap hitter. Describe that for the people that aren't necessarily familiar with the term.
Okay, so basically instead of like staying 2 feet on the ground, step swing, it's more of like a walkthrough. And I kind of try to get like the inside of the ball, stay inside of it, hit it more towards the left side of the field.
Okay.
And then just kind of use my speed to get on base, however I can do that.
Ground balls and good hustle will get you a lot of base hits, won't it?
Yes.
Abbi, I will copy Kevin's question and ask you how your season's going so far.
Personally, probably not the best I've ever played in my life. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But sometimes it just comes down to how do I help the team win? And maybe it's not pretty, but if I can get a bunt down, if I can walk, if I can steal some bases, if I can kind of, like I have a joke with Coach Brent right now that I'm the best right-handed slapper in the game. I'll shank a ground ball to short, but I kick it into fifth, and I'll be running down first. And if I can get there, then I can get there. I'm hoping for probably a good end of the season to just help the team win however I can.
And Abbi, here's the thing. Sometimes it really does come down to the fundamentals, the little things that help a softball team be really good as you are, 28-14. It does come down to the little things sometimes between a victory and a loss, right?
Oh, absolutely. Softball is just so fast, and it's such a small field that you have to do everything just as close to perfect as you can because you just don't have the time. And that's kind of why slapping is just so critical to the game, and Jyden does a fantastic job, and I love watching you slap, dude. It's incredible.
What a great term, huh, Kev? Slapping.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's awesome. So
we got
cool.
slapping and sweeping. These are all great terms for the game. Abbi, I'm curious, though, for a young lady that's hitting 284, 16 RBIs is a big fly to her credit, and you're versatile defensively, what has plagued you? What's been challenging for you? As you mentioned when you answered the first question, has it been the best for you? But what has not gone right for you?
I think it's honestly just trying too hard. I think I want it so bad, and I want the win so bad that I'm trying to do too much, and I don't want to say lack of confidence because I do feel confident in my ability to hit the ball and my ability to generate runs and play good defense. It's just really come down to like settling in and seeing the game for what it is, and that's just she's going to throw it, I'm going to hit it, they're going to hit it, I'm going to field it.
You talk about the speed of the game, right? You got to slow it down just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Jyden, down here.
Hi.
Hi. So last year you got all GSAC and you got the Gold Glove for being an outstanding outfielder. What did that mean for you to come in your first season and have those kinds of achievements in your first full season with ACU?
It's definitely a good, I worked really hard last year, and just all of my teammates have been pushing me, and it just really gives me a lot of confidence coming into this year. Everyone's been pushing me this year extremely well. Like the Audis, we all really work together, and we have just so much fun out there, and so it's just such a blast to just be playing with everyone.
And for your sisters to see you get those achievements, how does that rub off on them to see that you get those achievements and that they know that if you can do it, then they can do it too?
Oh my gosh. So I just love like just being with them and just the atmosphere that it creates. Like we all just push each other, and I just hope that, we can all do well together.
Jyden Miles and Abbi Covalt joined the Storm Report here tonight. Ladies, I'll ask you both the same question, but what is the culture like, and how has the culture changed under Coach Maben? Because it just seems like since Coach Maben and his lovely bride have arrived on campus that they have made giant inroads, and they made some incredible changes to this program, and everybody is a beneficiary of that action.
Do you want to go? I can go. Okay. So just the way that they've changed it for me, I've never been on a team that's so open about spiritual life and like how you're mentally doing, and I think that they just do a really good job and just being like open, like how are you doing today, like actually mean it, you know. And so today at practice we did mental rep Monday, so we just journal some questions, and then we're always like praying for each other, like each teammates, even with the coaches and everything. So it's just such a loving atmosphere, and I'm just so grateful for it.
Abbi, before you answer that question, is that when I drove up on campus today to the Tower Grill, I saw everybody kind of on the softball diamond in different areas in small circles. Is that the exercise you guys were performing when I drove up today?
Yeah, that
Just what you're
is
talking about. Okay.
Mental Rep Monday. I'm sure you've probably heard it tossed around. It's a pretty popular term on our team. You know, JD knows what's up. Like Jyden was talking about, we have a spiritual pulse, a mental pulse, and a physical pulse, and we break into smaller groups by position.
Okay.
So the outies will go with their coach, and first base, corners, third base, pitchers, catchers, middles, stuff like that.
Ed, you figured that outies are outfielders.
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, I figured
my
that
bad. Outfield.
I got it. We're talking information consumption by fire hose here. You just want to make sure you're catching it all.
Yeah, slappers, outies. I'm getting
Yes,
these new terms in
It's a
baseball and
foreign
softball.
language. Definitely.
So, Abbi, you guys had a great weekend. You swept San Diego Christian and Westcliff. I know that the last game was pretty emotional because 4 of your seniors are moving on. They're going to graduate. But to win 4 straight at home, and do you feel like you guys are really in the groove right now as you're getting ready to head into the GSAC in the playoffs?
Absolutely. We had definitely a patch of just kind of uncharacteristic play that was kind of bringing us down a little bit, but it was great to see us come back with 4 wins that we could just kind of do what we do and get bunts down, move people over, hits a couple. I'm sure we had home runs. I don't remember, honestly. Yeah, probably. But doubles and just doing what we do is critical to how we're going to go into conference. So I loved getting to break through with senior weekend, and just really celebrating our girls was really huge for us going into this week.
So the 2 Taylors, Neely and Caitlin, what did you learn from them, the 4 seniors that are graduating? How did you learn from your big sisters on how this game runs?
It's been so wild. This is my first year here at ACU. I transferred here. I'm a sophomore, but those seniors have just swooped me in, and I know that they do that with really everybody, especially Taylor Schleisman. She was injured in the fall, so I was at second base, and she just took me in and was so supportive. So Taylor Schleisman specifically was just such a huge role in just making me feel so loved. But really, every senior has been just really huge in being welcoming and pushing the culture of our team to be the best that we can. So it's been great to see Neely and Kate and Taylor Alto and Tay Schleiss like really just pushing us to be everything that we can.
That's cool. Jyden, what do they mean to you?
Oh my gosh, just like Abbi was saying, everyone just brings you in with open arms. Really, when I came here my freshman year, I was really worried about the atmosphere and how it would be, and they just really just made me feel welcome, and honestly made me feel like I've been there for the past 4 years. Like just specifically Kate Anderson in the outfield, she's just been a leader out there, and she's always supporting me. And when we're throwing, you know, we're having our daily conversations about like how was your day, you know. So it's just like it's just so loving and so supportive. They've been all so supportive.
Jyden, what's more exhilarating for you as a slap hitter, to hit a home run over the fence or have an inside the park home run?
I would say inside the park home run, because I gotta run all the way if I want to make it home. You know, I gotta actually turn the wheels on to make it home. So I would say inside.
And I know your teammates love watching you circle the bases, so that's a lot of fun. Ladies, you've won 4 straight. We mentioned the 28-14 record, 10-8 in conference play, 14-10 at home. You head off to the road, maybe playing your best softball at 10-4. We talked about with Miss Hippolito last week. But I'm just curious, your thoughts on what's still at stake for you. You have a chance to win the conference. It might be challenging, but you get HIU this weekend in Fullerton. They're 29-9, and they're 12-4 in conference play, but then you get Vanguard. So what's at stake for you? What's the conversation like as you hit the road for the last couple here in Fullerton and then Costa Mesa before you end up with those folks over there in Surprise?
You know, Coach Maven talks about every day just working to get one more game together, and I think that's really a huge part of what we work for, is that it's about your team. It's about just competing with each other, and getting to be on that field is such a gift that not many people really appreciate to its full value. And not only just being on the field, but being in that dugout is just a different thing that people don't get to experience. And when you leave, it just you miss it instantly. So I would say we're going in with a lot of drive and a lot of fire because I think this team has so much potential and so much skill set and just love to go be dominant in the NAI, and I'm excited to see where we go with it.
Ms. Miles, your thoughts on that?
I definitely agree with Abby. I feel like this past weekend, just with the seniors celebrating them, I think the atmosphere, like we talked about it as a team afterwards, but I just think the atmosphere has definitely changed, and we're ready to win. You know, we're ready to go in and just be the best that we can be and just get one more day together.
That's the best way to do it. Let's play for each other with the idea and the belief that we can get one more after this one. Too much fun. Coach Maben's done a magnificent job. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the pitching. These two young ladies, in fact, the entire staff has been dynamite. 2.59 ERA, as Mr. Ghostin pointed out. Tremendous defense being played behind these two pitchers. But for Savannah Smith and Trinity Lawson, these young ladies are dealing, and your team is peaking at the right time. Your thoughts on that, Jyden?
Oh my gosh, they're killing it on the mound. I'm sorry, but just they've been really buying into what Coach Tatum has been, helping them do. Just like we do storm defense, so we'll shift or we'll just play up normal. And I just have full trust in my pitchers that any pitcher that we have is going to hit their spots, and we're just going to be ready for it if they tip it or whatever.
Makes your job easy when you get that flow and that tempo.
For sure.
That's right. Well, let's wrap them up. Let's let the ladies go. They just got here from practice. Let them go home.
Well, we certainly appreciate the candor with these two young ladies. We hope that you will get things done against Hope this weekend and Vanguard right after that, and we'll see you back here against OUAZ. I call them the other guys down the street, but we know how significant that rivalry is, but unfinished business, just like the baseball team. You ladies are in that same category. Thank you for being our guests here, and we wish you success going forward. It's been a ton of fun, and we've certainly enjoyed it, and that will also mean that we've enjoyed conversation with Daniel Durazo and, of course, Griffin Swan and assistant men's baseball coach Mark Flatten on this evening's show. For everybody affiliated with ACU and our Storm Report here, it's been a fantastic season. It's the final show until, let's say, next August or something like that, Tim.
Come football season.
We do know that the ACU football season will begin on the 26th day of August, the year 2023. Of course, we'll be at, before mentioned, OUAZ. So that game will be in Surprise. Jeff Bowen's team will be unveiled for the 2023 campaign in Surprise. So without further ado, all of our guests for Durazo, Swan, Jyden Miles, Abbi Covalt, our partners here, Luke Sanders, J.D. Hamby, Tim Ghostin, and my broadcast partner, Mr. Ed Cole. I'm Kevin Derryberry. Until next time, so long for now. Good night and have a great summer.